this title may be a little bit surprising, and it obviously wouldn't apply to every single body, but sometimes you should know your lane. You should know your lane, especially when it's not coming from a genuine place and it's clouded with lots of bad attributes.
Bruh.
Run. And such is what I'm coming to talk about in this video. Thank you so much, my angels, for coming back. I'm extremely grateful for you clicking on this. Let me get into this. The halo effect, to be very honest, has been one of the most annoying things ever, because for sure, one way or the other shoe will drop. You realize that
you know, she's a cute girl, you know, cute next to gorgeous. Gorgeous is gonna, you know, devour cute.
But anyway, the lack of confidence that I had then, I would say that it was a disease that could have been prescribed to me and I'll get my medication or something, because it was so bad. Honestly, it's because of all these ideals that were set back then. Now, I would say that we are even better. We've done so well in trying to be inclusive. Because then, if you are not toned, that's for guys. If you are not toned in terms of body, being muscular, tall, but you can't be fat. No. You need that for acceptance, having good skin. There's dirty water that we were giving us in the school, but obviously you still need to conjure the clear skin from above, and people be able to do that. So if they could do it, as they say, why can't you? And for girls, they had to have the so-called Goldilocks proportions, which is annoying as boys were using to describe them. One day, one girl will have it, and you know, everybody's bodies changes. All our bodies change. So the fact that these standards were placed on us was just to our detriment. We're basically self-cannibalizing. But yeah, you have to do all these things, and I started getting attention from this girl called Rachel. That's the name that you're going to give her. Her name is not Rachel, obviously. And it all happened within 2 days. She already got me hooked. We had the same classes, and for that whole year, getting to the end, is when she started doing this. She had never ever bugged me up in anything. She had never even said hi. For all intents and purposes, I always thought she was just competition. That's just who she was to me, and that's how we were. We're very, very competitive, because after we're done with exams, our teachers posted the results on the notice board for everybody to see, including those not in our class. So we have to make sure that we're one-upping each other, and not to tilt my own horn too much, but I was always in the top 5 for every single exam that we wrote. Always. I never dropped out of that. And this girl was so kind to me within these 2 days, even saying thank you when I gave her something. She never did, she just took it. And what can I say? I was mesmerized. The second day, she invited me to sit on her table for lunch. I don't know how she was able to do it. I'm very sure her parents, but her table got extra food. The same food that all of us, our school fees contribute towards. She was paying some individuals and they were giving her extra. This was if they have money. Even though I would say that we're competitive, it doesn't mean that people were not popular. That group were very, very good in school and also very popular. So if you are popular, having the looks, smart, you add sports to it, at that point just stay there and get worship, because you will. Those people will like you. I sat by her, and within a few days I could realize that I was getting piercing eyes. And this is not the kind of eyes that I would normally get, because when it came to academic, at least I think at some point people realized that I was always going to try very hard to do well, so they just fell in line. But this one was too much. After all the bad words some of these boys had thrown at this girl in the dorm, because even though they admire you, they still hate you. It has been a very weird contrast that I've seen. They'll praise you so much, but when they come to their friends, they'll start speaking so badly at you. But that's how it was. And this school really bred people like that. I don't know, it's because of their Christian values. People will hide the way they actually are. You will never believe that some of these people basically have the devil sitting on their laps, telling them to do everything. Some of the girls will come and be asking me in a very harsh way that what do we talk about? I first used to wonder, is it that she made it exclusive in the girls' dorm so they became intrigued? You know that people were so inquisitive about things that do not concern them. And the boys basically had it out for me. One thing that was very frowned upon in our school was leaving your bed unlaid. You have to lay it, straighten it up before you go and eat, before you go for class. And some of these people will come and mess it up on it. Some of them will even sprinkle food crumbs on it, and not food per se, but we all have snacks like some biscuits and some juice. They'll pour the juice on my bed, and I was saying my grievances back to her. All these things that were happening was actually getting to me. I was trying to find a way to get revenge on these boys, but she just told me that that's how pretty people live. People who are popular, and basically for you to be on top, you will have haters. It's an inevitable circumstance. I get what she meant now.
Yes, sir.
She was trying to gauge my endpoints, like how far I'll go, because I was really telling her my revenge plots, and she was loving it. She too won me over with the stories that she told me. Told me that she was very sheltered growing up, only child. She didn't even get to watch some of the teen shows that we're watching as children. And some of us were sneaking in to watch Teen Wolf, Vampire Diaries, all those things. She didn't get to watch any of those until later on. So I ended up getting into an in crowd and realized that these are some two-faced fools. Because from afar, you see them doing some things, you think that, oh, it's cool, these people are breaking the rules. But when you are in it, it really puts your bravery to the test, because these people really do some crazy ass shit. One of the things that they ended up making me learn was some of the signs that they used to communicate during the exam. Learning it, I felt so happy, because I had seen them doing some of these codes during some of our exams, but I never knew what it was. Learning about it made me realize that, whoa, people truly do not know how these people get ahead. So many people are finding ways to cheat the system. Apart from learning all the signs that they had for certain answers, we also had certain parts that we had to learn from our notes and from the syllabus. Basically, they will tell you to learn this one side, another person learn another side, so that in the end we all wouldn't have to struggle, which in retrospect is a good thing. My exams, oh please, because I didn't know how tense it could be, I decided to learn every single thing. They even went a step further and snuck into the teacher's staff room to find out where we're writing this test. The sitting arrangement was randomized then. The teacher had put the list on his table, so we're able to see it and know where we'll be sitting. Luckily, most of us were close to each other. In our little squad, we were 6. 2 girls, 4 boys. And then the exam finally came, and we all knew that within the first 30 minutes, we'll try to do what we can. We wouldn't bombard anyone. The exam was multi-choice, luckily. So I was so glad that some 1 or 2 questions we can ask, the rest you can just think of something and put down. But the moment that 30 minutes mark struck, they started asking questions. And at that point, I realized that, whoa, this thing is not as simple as it looks, because the invigilators or instructors of the exam were really going around. So you have to make sure that we wouldn't get caught. These people started asking each other random questions, asking questions from parts that people were not supposed to, in retrospect, to know. But we all had parts that we had to learn. What really threw me off was someone asking me a question that they were supposed to learn. Another person asked someone and they asked me again. So I realized that a lot of heat was on me. And my dear Rachel had not yet asked me a question. Then she finally asked me a question that she was supposed to ask someone else, because that question was coming from someone else's portion. And at that point I was fed up. I just turned my head and didn't mind it. And that was the beginning of the end. Already I lost respect for them and wanted to even stay away from their group. And for about 2 weeks I was out. People stopped staring at me. Wow, the way things quickly changed. No one was asking me any questions. There was no more bad things happening to me in the dorm. I asked myself, are people really that fickle about being in that group? And I got into the last days of school. Everybody knows the saying, last days are dangerous. So we all kept our heads down and passed through that last week of school and go home. But on one of the last days, my darling Rachel finally came and tapped me in the evening. That time on a regular week will be used for independent study. They did that so that the whole school be quiet and people were able to focus and actually learn. But because it was the last week, people were just chatting with their friends, using their Chromebook to fool around. So when she called me, I followed. We went to the back of the school and realized that these people had ordered so much food. Some of the foods, I didn't even know what they were called. I had to Google them after looking at the receipt the next day. That will come into play as we continue the story. Please stay tuned. But yeah, all kinds of foods from wings, pizza, sliders, to some weird ones like poutine, arancini, tartar, and some other ones. But after we had finished stuffing ourselves, Rachel and I decided to take a walk around the campus of the school. We started our chat expressing how much we missed each other. And she told me that she had been called to the principal's office a few times within the semester for apparently having a short skirt. I wonder if that was the only reason, but we'll take it like that. And she had seen a bottle of champagne on the shelf of the principal's office. She googled the label on the bottle and affirmed her suspicion that it was alcoholic. Afterwards, she informed me that she had an identical bottle brought in with the food that we just ate. So for our last corral before the semester ends, I should go and swap them out so that we can have that drink before going home for the vacation. And I immediately snapped back saying, what the? There's no way I'm going to do this. There's no way I can do this. Then she assured me that she had a plan. She told me that I should wait for a few hours for the custodian to start cleaning the office of the principal and vice principal. We didn't clean there. I already said in my previous video that we cleaned the entire school. But those important offices like the accountant's office and all those places, they have someone doing that. That gentleman cleaning today was my friend. And she knew that. Oh, the fact that I told her the information annoyed me so much. But I had to wait for when he's about to enter the room. So we're going to now stand close to the principal's office, but not too close that you see us. After he's done with the vice principal, he's going to the principal's office. I should rush there with the bag on my back with that non-alcoholic champagne inside and tell him that I left my keys over there. So the moment he's entering, I should now go in, start looking around the place like I'm trying to find those keys. As I'm doing that, I should just look for the closest avenue and swap out the bottles. I blinked my eyes and all of a sudden, I had done it. I actually was brave enough to do it. And we got drunk. All sorts of us drank this bottle of champagne. But with the little knowledge I know about drinks, which I did not really partake in, I think was wine. And we were so hungover. Well, that I didn't come out from the dorm until later in the day, around 11 a.m., which I've never done before. But when I came out, I went to eat some food and Rachel and I decided to watch some YouTube videos. Watching for some time, and I realized that this girl was bringing her beef sandwich furnace. Wow. Huh? Closer to my leg. I could feel the heat emanating from there, which I don't which in hindsight was just me kind of overreacting, but I could feel that she was pushing her hoo-ha close to it. Then she just took my hand and put it there. And I freaked out a bit because I knew that when the sight of the camera and something like that is such a no-no. If a girl goes to report you for harassment and they see you doing something like that, you get expelled for sure. And she knew that, and I confronted her on the spot that why would she do something like that? She just threw some books on the floor and told me that she was going to report me. I told her that, are you serious? See, for just this? After I just stopped you from doing something that could ruin both of our careers, because even though I get expelled, she will most likely get a suspension for some weeks the next semester when we come back. She said, not for that. Then she held the receipts of the food that they had in my face. She said that they ordered that food in my name. Even though it was whoever's phone, I don't know whose phone they used to bring it in. Then she quickly ran to the direction of the principal's office. My heart started beating so fast. I didn't believe that she was actually going to do this to me. After all these fun times, Yes, I do the bowl during the exam and also this, but to actually ruin my whole career when I've been a goody two shoes, when I didn't put my hand there, was insane to me. He finally came out from the office and told me that she's paying me for now, but the next semester I'll have to do something for her that I'm going to regret. And when I tell you, this girl really took it there. The whole vacation, I thought about this. Anyway, let me end it here for now. Thank you so much for listening to this. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.